of course, a look ahead to the weather, all to come for you. Good evening and welcome to the programme. Now, we've heard before about the rising toll of young people being murdered in the capital, but tonight the people of Edmonton in North London could well be asking why so many killings are happening in their neighbourhood. A man in his 20s stabbed to death last night was the fifth violent death in the area this year. 4 of the victims have been teenagers. Well, Asad Ahmed is in Edmonton now for us. Asad, how are people feeling there?
Well, Riz, the words scared and concerned are words that easily trip off the tongue, but after spending a day here in Edmonton talking to local residents, they're the best 2 words I can use to describe the general feeling here. I've literally spoken to dozens of people who haven't been shy about coming up to me to tell me how they feel. This was the 5th murder in exactly 3 months to the day, so I've been finding out what that means to the people of Edmonton. Men in white working behind a police tape which marks a murder scene. Although a relatively rare sight in London, it's less so in Edmonton. Nearly half the young fatalities through gun and knife crime in London this year have died through incidents here in Edmonton. Last night's fatal stabbing, just yards away from a children's play area, is the 5th in the area in just 3 months. Understandably, there's concern on the streets of Edmonton amongst local people.
I only live across the road there, and every time I come out I'm always looking around.
It makes me feel unsafe, and something has to be done about it.
When you want a policeman, there's never one around, and when you don't want them, there's loads of them, and I don't think they do their job properly for any of us.
The police say they understand people's fear, but insist the attacks are targeted.
What we shouldn't ignore is the fact that these are attacks on young black men. And what I'm looking for is those who have information about people carrying knives, getting involved in gangs, to let us know. We'll do the work then.
These are the other Edmonton victims. 17-year-old Henry Balombi stabbed to death on New Year's Day. Louis Baduka, who's 18. Ofaik Mezu, who was 16. And 18-year-old Michael Jones, who died in his home. Officers are tonight still appealing for witnesses to last night's stabbing, while the community hope for an end to the recent spate of attacks. Well, I'm joined now by 2 youth leaders, Omar and Kweku. Gentlemen, Omar, first of all, what is it, the feeling amongst young people? You've been speaking to a lot of young people today. What's the feeling here in Edmonton?
Well, obviously everyone's very concerned. Basically, on the weekend we had a youth conference. There was over 150 youth there expressing their feelings about issues that affect them in the area, like local policing, you know, funding for local youth services, and also the youth violence. There's a lot of people basically were keen to keep up the dialogue with the councillors and with local police to, you know, try and come up with a solution.
Okay, Kweku, the borough commander said to me today that young black people are the people targeted and both perpetrators as well. What do you say to that?
I couldn't really agree with that totally, because I think it's rather unfortunate that what's going on is just going on black people. It could be white people next if nothing's done about it. But what I think the problem is at the minute is lack of resources at the borough for the target group that are getting arrested and dying. There ain't nothing like that. So I would suggest that the local authority, the police, and that should make sure that these things are in place.
All right, there's obviously lots of Kweku. Omar, thanks very much. Well, the police say they are speaking to local groups, but clearly there's a lot more that needs to be done. Back to you, Liz.
Asad, many thanks for that.